all about making sure you write things down.
Okay, what is it that I need to attack today?
It's a bit of a balance, yeah. Always keep things planned out way in advance.
See what I wrote in my handy dandy notebook.
Okay, definitely first I'm going to need to take a deep breath.
Hi everybody. Welcome to my SeCo Scribble, which is about prioritizing.
Hi, I'm Michael Mazzucato. I'm a senior search coordinator on the advancement team, supporting Jack Gorman and Rachel Ellenport.
My name is Affy Titifio. I'm a search coordinator supporting the work of Dan Rodas.
It's Tatiana. I support the Boston Managing Associates.
Guys, I'm Amanda and I support Anita TN, and this is how I stay prioritized. So over here, I use this checklist. So as you'll see, I have schedule an interview. I can actually check that off because I did it today. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is type in here, press enter, and it'll populate here, and then once you're done, you can check it off. You can double click and add more notes.
I try to file away everything that doesn't need my attention, so I keep search folders on the side, and then I flag everything that requires follow-up action items, whether I need them still or I just haven't answered them yet.
Go through my emails and I'll flag them. So I really like being able to say, okay, this client has been reaching out a lot. Like maybe it's time to hop on the call with them and just get clear. Other times, I'll be able to say, okay, this maybe isn't so urgent. It can wait until this afternoon. I can still send them like, hey, I've seen this. I'll get back to you at XYZ kind of time. So a lot of like placeholdery sort of emails is a lot of what I do.
So when I get in the morning, the first thing I do is I look at my email and I read through everything just because I don't want anything to be hanging out there before I start doing the stuff that's on my to-do list. And I flag everything in the corner, and I kind of get done all of the things that are just quick and little, and so that I feel less overwhelmed.
In my email, I highlight things in different ways. So like important things with information that I just need to remember are in yellow, and then red flags with purple are just like to-do items that I need to get done.
And then I use Evernote to track my to-do tasks daily, cross through things once I complete them, and if at the end of the week or at the end of the day I notice there's things that don't have the cross through it yet, and I still have to do them. But it's all about making sure you write things down, which I keep a pen and notepad as well by my desk. Yeah, so, highlighted in red means important. Don't forget to do that.
I like to make to-do lists, so I don't know if you can see this, my chicken scratch, but I like to go in and kind of see what I've got, what I'm looking at, and how I can balance the day. And something that I recently started doing, so I started putting highlights on things that have been sort of like pending for a little while, and I like to see how the highlights like transfer over, so I can be like, okay, I haven't been putting enough time into X, Y, and Z, like it's time to do Dan's stack of expenses, things like that.
I had written my to-do list the afternoon before, and so I kind of go back to that, refer back to that, add anything I need to add, that kind of bigger projects from my email, and I kind of star off the things that I need to do that day, and kind of prioritize by importance and by length of time it will take me to do.
Every morning when I get in, before I check my email or before I do anything, I open my OneNote. I list over here like all my to-dos, and what I would do is like I would copy and paste my day before into a new day, and I would delete all my check marks from the day before and go over all the highlighted items that were my big to-dos for the day. So everything you see here in yellow, I like absolutely need to get done today.
I organized by adding holds on my calendar. So as you'll see, I put a to-do list for Monday and Tuesday. I like to keep a to-do list in order of priority, and once I complete the task, I highlight it here.
I think about prioritizing. I really like to try to come in a little bit early if I can, especially if I know that I have a really busy day ahead of me. I'll try to come in about like 30 minutes early, and sometimes I'll head straight for the third floor conference room, and I'll just like lay out my things, and I'll be like, okay, what is it that I need to attack today? Anytime there's like a major search-related deliverable, I'll definitely put that on the calendar so I can see it coming. What I'd like to do actually is put in like multiple reminders, so it'd be like, hey, like 2 weeks away is a box upload, X weeks away is this, so that I could like see ahead a little bit better. Work in progress.
If it's scope editing, for example, I will set aside a certain amount of time. I won't put it on my calendar, but I'll say like, okay, do I know that I have 2 hours or an hour and a half or whatever, without getting up to go to a meeting or something like that. And then for box uploads, it's a little. I usually start the day before and try and get a lot done before then, and then just kind of have the lists to run on the day.
Also put other holds like this, work on a Bellarmine scope. I'm doing an outline for my team, so I blocked off time here. I always block off time for expenses or box uploads because those are pretty time consuming. And I also put the box uploads here on the top of my calendar. And I send that hold to everyone on my team so that they're aware. We'll take a few minutes at the end of my day to write out a list or maybe reorganize something here so that I'm set up for success when I come in the morning.
Stay ahead of the game is I always block off time on my calendar with things to do. So if I know I have a P2, so for instance this week I had 2 P2 box uploads and a presentation to get John ready for, so I block off time on my calendar to work on all the prep materials I need to get done. I know after a P1 I'm going to have a lot of bio interviews to schedule, so I will block off time in John's calendar, especially if you have a really busy partner or managing associates. I block off 2 hour blocks in the calendar to already know I can offer those times to candidates.
Is just responding back to my team and being able to say, hey, here's sort of what's on my plate today. I am seeing that you're sending me emails. I might have to be a little bit delayed in my responses, and that tends to help me buy a little bit of time, help them understand where I'm at, help set expectations on like what my communication is going to look like for the day. So that's really helpful. But yeah, I find that folks aren't necessarily looking at my calendar. They may look at Dan's, and that's also another way that I'll like figure out how my day is, right? So if Dan has X, Y, and Z coming up ahead, then I know I may need to do certain things so he can be set up for success. So if I didn't have Corley on my team, there's great folks on the 3rd floor that are always willing to help, and so reaching out to one of them for a little support. Also potentially like pushing back with a partner and saying, hey, this is what's on my plate today. I can get you to this part of the proposal, and you may have to help me carry the rest of it over the finish line.
A lot of the times, honestly, the managing associate will say, never mind, it's totally fine, I'll do it myself. It's not a big deal. So
if your partner's in the office, I definitely recommend popping your head in or maybe shooting them a note if they're out of the office and they're available to email you back. So that's what I do.
One big suggestion is to always check in with your associates, which you'll see as a common theme, to let them know what your day looks like and how busy you are, and see if they have capacity to jump in and help out with some of the stuff you've got going on.
We'll sit down, Corley and I will sometimes grab the associate and say, hey, like, can you help us set our priorities? Because honestly, sometimes we can't get a good sense of what the most important thing is until we're told, hey, like, this client needs this in this way, and that helps us understand. So I think a lot of conversations, a lot of communication, a lot of back and forth emails.
Luckily, we have 4 search coordinators on the advancement team, so depending on each of our capacities, we can help pitch in the calendar.
Yeah, so that's it. Thanks.